Hi. All right, we have dinner in the oven and I'm gonna go ahead and throw together a cake. And I am creating this on the go, which if you follow along, I actually do this kind of often. So it's amazing that it often turns out. So I have a basic keto cake recipe that I follow. And I just kind of vary it. We're gonna start out with some almond flour. So this is a 1 cup measure. And so we're gonna do 2 cups. Yeah. 2 3/4 cups of almond flour. Okay, so we're gonna start with, and then we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of coconut flour, which is why I reduced my almond flour, because I want about 2 cups total. So this is just regular organic coconut flour, and that's about a 1/4 cup. I'm gonna mix this up. Now, I like the almond flour, coconut flour blend when I'm doing cakes. When I do the fathead dough to make truffles and things like that, I don't do it in that. But I do like it whenever we do the cakes. I just really feel like it really makes a difference in the texture and the crumb of the cake. And by the way, I created a really great almond, this base lemon pound cake that I'm going to be making next week. We've already had it twice this week as I was perfecting it for you guys. So I'm doing this blueberry one just to kind of change it up for my husband, because we get kind of tired of the same thing. So this is 1 cup of allulose. I promise that's what this is. This is allulose. I keep mine in containers. If you are using a different sweetener than allulose, you may need a little bit less. Allulose sweetens at about 70% of what sugar is. And so normally I would use about 2/3 to 3/4 of a cup. We don't like things terrible sweet. We've been sugar-free for so long that our tolerance is a little higher. So I'm using a cup there. But if you're using anything with a sugar alcohol blend that has ethanol in it, you might try taking it back to about 3/4 of a cup. I think that you'll find that that will give you really good results. Okay, and I'm just kind of breaking up all the little clumps that were in my allulose. Because I buy the pure allulose, there's nothing else in it, so there isn't an anti-caking agent in it. So if that's something, if you've not bought before and you're noticed, well, why is this like this? That's something that you may not have had to deal with before. So you can see, like right here. So see, there's just like a little clump. It's not a big deal. It just smashes right up. But it's because there isn't those artificial agents in here. Often it's cellulose is quite often what they use for anti-caking. It just kind of prevents moisture, and that's what they use that for. So I'm gonna go ahead and add, I have baking soda. And we're gonna do about a teaspoon, and you probably need to measure. This is roughly a teaspoon. My hands have done this many times for many years. And I'm gonna also do a teaspoon of baking powder. I find when using the almond flour and coconut flour that I really need both baking soda and powder in order to get the pH correct. We're also gonna do about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, so we're gonna mix these together like so. So that's all mixed in. I'm gonna set that aside for a second. And then I have in here 3 eggs, okay? So we're gonna break those up a little bit. To the eggs, I'm gonna add, this is just straight vanilla extract. Do not get the flavoring, get the extract. Only gonna do about a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, because the primary flavor we want is almond extract. And almond extract I find is quite a bit stronger than vanilla, so about a 1/2 teaspoon of both of those. And then here I have melted a 1/2 cup of non-dairy butter. So you can use regular butter but this one I'm making non-dairy. This is the butter that we prefer by Mykonos. My truck driver husband loves this butter, and he's not one that normally, I converted him a few years ago because he had to. To our eggs, I'm also adding about 1/3 of a cup. This is a coconut almond milk. This is Again, what I happen to have on hand. If you are using dairy and want to use milk instead, you absolutely can do that. So in here we have 3 eggs. We have a 1/3 cup of milk of your choice, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of almond, okay? And then we have over here, we have 4 ounces or a 1/2 cup of melted butter. So we're gonna add both of these to our powdered mixture, and I'll make sure we get all the melted butter out. So, I'm just gonna kind of stir this up. Now what I really like about this is you don't need a fancy mixer to do this. You can literally just do this in one bowl. Super duper easy. Just make sure you're scraping the bottom. You want to make sure you get everything off the sides, the bottom, and get it mixed good, okay? And then I have a glass pan and some avocado nonstick spray. I'm just going to lightly spray. Really, when you're using almond flour, you don't need a lot because it's already oily enough on its own. And we're just going to go ahead, pour this out. And we're just going to spread this out in our pan. And this is going to be fairly thin, as you can see. Move this all over for you. So this is fairly thin. It's spreading out nicely, about a 1/2 inch up in our pan. Then what I'm going to do is I have blueberries. And we're just going to put blueberries over the top. Now I do these, my blueberries are frozen. And so I do them over the top so that they don't just sink to the bottom. Or if you ever you stirred them in and they all gather in one place and you have one part of your cake that doesn't have any and then you have another part that has a lot. Well, by doing it this way, I can clearly see. Now I got out 2 cups, I did measure it, of blueberries. I can tell you, I only used a little more than a cup, so maybe a 1.5 cups is about what I used. And we're gonna stop right there because we don't want too many blueberries, we'll add too much liquid. So then we'll put this in the oven and the cake will bake up around those blueberries and I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, our cake is out of the oven and it's been cooling for a little while, but it is still pretty hot. That glass really retains the heat. And you're gonna notice this may be a little bit more brown than you're used to if you're not used to cooking with almond flour, because it's a nut, it does brown a little bit more. Don't let that scare you. It's not burned, it's not gonna taste burned. You see how pretty brown that is, but it's a nice deep golden brown is what that's gonna become when it's done. And I poked the middle with a toothpick just like you normally would on a cake to check and see if it was done. That's exactly what I did. I've already cut this piece. You're going to see it's nice and done on the inside. We've got a really nice crumb there. Now the one thing I'm going to ask you to do, I'm cutting this, just show this to you guys. Do not eat it when it's hot. I used allulose to cook with it. And I have found with the allulose, I'm not a fan of the flavor when it's warm. When it's cool, you absolutely cannot tell that it's not sugar. So I'm cutting this piece and I'm gonna cut one more and I'm gonna stick these in the freezer just to kind of cool them down so that after my husband gets home and we have dinner, we will have a couple pieces of cake here. Grab a couple extra of these blueberries, let them fall off on here because those are yummy. And so I'm gonna take these, I'm gonna put them in the freezer, chill them for about 10 minutes, and then that's kind of a quick way to be able to eat it a little quicker. If you don't need to eat it right away, I encourage you to let it completely cool down to room temperature before you eat it. You'll just find the flavors a lot better, and this got a yummy almond flavor with those blueberries, and it's just delicious. So I hope you'll try it, and you'll and eat healthy and be healthy. See you next time.